Hey everyone, welcome to Crypto Conversation, and there are three important news that I wanted to share with you this morning, and let's go ahead and dive deep into it. Now, one of the news is that the coin market price, yesterday if you've seen the prices on the Coinmarket everything was minus, and what happened is the coin market cap actually excluded all the volumes from the exchanges in South Korea. So that was one of the biggest news, and which people saw. It looks like it's a crash, but actually it wasn't. It's just that they excluded all the volume coming out from South Korean exchange. So we're going to talk about a little bit about that, and also as we were discussing yesterday on the live session, that the China is actually cracking down on all the Bitcoin mining farms there in India, there in China. Sorry. So we're going to talk about a little bit about that. And also we're going to talk about PIL, which is fined in Calcutta in India, about regulations or either regulations or a ban on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in India. So let's go ahead and get started. Once again, if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe, and also a disclaimer that everything that we cover on this channel is not a financial or investment, legal or tax advice. It's just my personal opinion and not a financial advice. So let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see, so this morning I was researching on what are the other resources for finding out the cryptocurrency market capital and their prices, and then I came across these other websites which are very similar to coinmarketcap.com, but there's something called as coin.watch, and there's another one called as coinmarketwatch.com, and there's another one, Litecoin Watch. But what I found is that there is not much of a difference in the pricing. If you see, so if you see the price on the Litecoin Watch is 15,236, and it's almost similar to what is there on the coinmarketcap.com. So I'm not sure whether they have already started including in terms of volume. Also, if you see the 24 hours volume, it's right now 14 billion over here, and if you look at the volume here, it's 18 billion. So I'm not really sure as to whether they are already started including the volumes from South Korea or not, but I don't see a lot of difference between these websites which are portraying the prices and the volume and the coin market. So I'm not really sure what's happening. If you have any information on that, please do share in the comment below, letting us know what exactly is happening there. But I was just trying to compare all these four prices, and I didn't find a lot of difference into the volume or the prices. So now, however, I read this news this morning that says cryptocurrency market shocked as CoinMarketCap removes Korean exchanges prices without warning, and this has faced a lot of criticism from many people in the industry. Obviously, this is something which was not notified to the users, and CoinMarketCap is one of the topmost used website when it comes to keeping a track of all the cryptocurrencies and their prices and the volumes and things like that. Even in terms of exchanges, what are the exchanges, what are their volumes, and all of a sudden them going ahead and removing all the South Korean exchanges and their prices was something very unprofessional. And this is what we found on Twitter. So they said that this morning we excluded some Korean exchange in price calculation due to the extreme divergence in the prices from the rest of the world and limited arbitrage opportunities. We are working on the better tools to provide users with the averages that are most relevant to them. Now, the South Korea, one thing that has to be noticed here, the South Korean exchanges are selling Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency at a premium price. Especially Bitcoin is always being traded in South Korea at a premium price. And we also read the news the other day about 30% of Koreans are actually trading in cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, which is way larger than the total percentage of across the globe. I think it's not more than 5 or 10% across the globe. But when it comes to South Korea, it's more than 30%. And so the prices of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in South Korea is also pretty high. So this is what the coin market tweeted yesterday, and in response there have been a lot of criticism for this action. So they say, what is the reason they exclude Korean prices? And then there was another tweet. There are outliers due to shortage of cryptos in Korea and difficulty getting KRW out. The new price is more accurate and meaningful in my opinion. That's another tweet from David. And there was a tweet from Steven. Now these guys have just tweeted, do a better job of communicating this type of thing before you do it. I mean, this really makes sense. I mean, if you had to remove or exclude the South Korean prices, this is something you should have notified, or you put it on the main page of the coin market so that people are already aware of what exactly is happening. Because I believe a lot of people actually went ahead and panic sold their cryptocurrencies, you know. So look at this one. So it says, well, why didn't you let the community know instead? Surprised many people, and the new baby is likely sold. Like I said, luckily as more seasoned investors held and looked for the facts of why they did before making a rash decision. I mean, this is something that we were talking yesterday on the live session as well, as to why there is so much of dip. It says that your action without notice likely causes a loss of money for many. There are so many tweets. This is another one, says that this was one of the most unprofessional, deliberate price manipulation I have ever seen. Still hodl though, right? So cannot find the right words for this. Really, either extreme incompetency or pure evil manipulation. Both deserve severe consequences. So as you can see, the people are really not happy, and of course I'll not be happy. Nobody will be happy. All of a sudden, Coinmarket, one of the most reputed site when it comes to tracking of cryptocurrencies and prices and volumes, they went ahead and excluded the entire South Korean market from its system. Pretty weird, isn't it? So this was the news yesterday, because of which we saw the price drop. Of course, it's all over the news today. Let's jump on to the next big topic. So the next big news was China. China is planning to kill most of the world's Bitcoin mining operations. So this was again a very significant news, which was on Jan 8. It says the Chinese government will end Bitcoin mining, so operations in the coming months. Bloomberg reported over the weekend a move that could have a massive impact on the price of the world's biggest digital currency. Now, I'm really not true, but this can have a negative impact on the Bitcoin price, because Bitcoin has got most of the mining farms in China are Bitcoin mining farms, right? And they have been running for a very long time, and I don't know the share, the percentage wise, but I think it's more than 50% of mining farms that operates in China. And this could really impact the Bitcoin price in a negative way, if at all that happens. So here, this is what it says: the notice from the China Special Rectification on Risk in Internet Finance Department to local government to make a plan before 10th of Jan. Today is already 9th of Jan. Lead mining factories quit gradually, with central bank officials sure prepared for the roller coaster. There is another news that you can read here. It says China shut down the 3/4 of the world's Bitcoin mining network. Like I said, it's one of the biggest. It says the country's top internet finance regulator, the leading group of internet financial risk, issued a notice asking local governments to guide Bitcoin mining operations to take an orderly exit from the business, according to the leaked document online. Citing government source, is planning to limit electricity supply to Bitcoin miners. If this happens, if they go ahead and limit the electricity supply to Bitcoin miners, then this can definitely have an adverse impact on this Bitcoin mining farm, because without the electricity supply, you cannot really mine Bitcoin. And when it comes to Bitcoin mining, you really need a large chunk of electricity to run those machines, right? So it says currently there are so-called mining enterprises that produce virtual currencies. They have consumed huge amount of resources and stoked speculation of virtual currencies, according to the document dated too. So this is definitely a concern. We'll still have to see actually what exactly happens in China. China has stopped all the cryptocurrency exchanges, and now this is really a bad news for Bitcoin mining farm. Now we will have to see how that is tackled in China. So these are the two news which actually impacted the price of the Bitcoin yesterday, which we were talking about yesterday. Right now, most of the cryptocurrencies are in minus. If you look at everything, most of them are in minus. The total market cap has come down to $760 billion. I wouldn't say it's a bad, because it just picked up from 600 or 500 billion to 760. It's still a fair cap, but however, this news is definitely of concern. Now moving on to the next news, South Korea found a new way to tax cryptocurrencies under the current law. South Korea having the 30% of people in South Korea are actually trading and into cryptocurrencies, and they had no way how to tax people. So they have it seems like they have finally found something to tax people on the cryptocurrency profits. So there are some things that can be taxed under the current law that this says, and so this is also very interesting. At present, it is concluded that the taxation of income tax on corporation tax, transport income tax, etc. is possible in the case of virtual currency, while taxation of virtual currency is difficult in terms of value-added tax. So this is something I wanted to share. The last one, this is very important. So this one is from India. This says litigation filed in India for immediate intervention of the flow of Bitcoin. So what has happened is a lawyer, right? A cyber law expert and public prosecutor has filed a PIL, which is public interest litigation in a court in India, saying that the cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin either should be banned immediately or it has to be regulated immediately. And the reason he says that there has been a lot of drug trafficking, like misuse of Bitcoin, ransomware, extortion, other unlawful activities are being facilitated by the use of cryptocurrencies, which needs to be immediately banned or regulated. I do think a couple of positive things in this news here, because if the cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin do get regulated, possibly these illegal activities of uses of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies can be avoided to a certain extent. So that can be definitely avoided. So it says that either the government should ban Bitcoin by declaring it illegal, like they do it in China, or there must be a regulatory body to control its flow. Now, it's a good news as well as a bad news. The good news is that if India goes ahead and draw some regulations for exchanges, how to operate these exchanges, at the same time for the people, guidelines for the people how to handle cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, great. Or else it could be a bad news where India decides to ban all the cryptocurrency exchanges, so there is no conversion of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies into fiat money and fiat money to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. In that way, obviously India will be isolated from the rest of the world economy, while other countries are actually doing something or the other with the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So I think the best way would be the regulation, but however, let's see what happens right now. But this is the PIL, which is defined whether you regulate it or you ban it immediately. There have been a lot of circulars from the government about the risk involved into cryptocurrencies. However, there have not been any action so far. Exchanges are still operating, and in terms of regulation also they have set a committee, but nothing has happened so far. So there have been no regulations as yet, and there have been no ban on cryptocurrency exchanges as well. So probably let's see what happens after this PIL. I think there was a PIL about a couple of months also to the Supreme Court about the regulations of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in India. Let's see how long will that take, or are they going to ban it? So this is something that I would be interested in knowing from you as well. What do you guys think, whether it's going to be regulated or it's going to be banned? But obviously I'll leave the link in the description below for this news here. Please go ahead and read it and share your opinion in the comment below. Would love to hear your opinion on this as well. That's all I have. The last one is the US government is selling some Bitcoins which they seized in a dark web dealer. There were two. So if you remember correctly, the Silk Road incident where they actually seized some Bitcoins, right? And they were auctioned, and I think most of the Bitcoins were bought by the venture capitalist Tim Draper for a couple of millions. Now this time they again have seized some Bitcoins in drug trafficking and in dark web from the dark web dealer. This is about 513 Bitcoins and 512 Bitcoin cash that they have seized, and they are looking to sell that off. So it says the US government has been approved by the federal judge in Utah to sell 513 Bitcoin and Bitcoin cash seized from an investigation involving Aaron Michael Shampoo. This was a dark web dealer, some illegal activities which were happening, and they seized it completely, and they have got the hold on these numbers of Bitcoin, and definitely these have a really huge amount. And so I think they are going to auction these Bitcoins and encash it. So that's the news right now coming out. Right, that's all I have for you right now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave your opinion in the comment below, and if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much. Take care.